In a small village, nestled by the river, lived a boy named Michael. His life had always been filled with joy and laughter until the tragic day his parents passed away when he was 8 years old. With no one else to turn to, Michael was sent to live with his Auntie Araba. From the outside, Auntie Araba's house looked like a dream. It was large and beautifully decorated. But inside, a different story unfolded. The moment Michael stepped inside, he felt a cold chill. Auntie Araba greeted him with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Welcome, Michael," she said, her voice sweet like honey. But behind that sweetness, there was a hidden bitterness. At first, everything seemed fine. Auntie Araba treated Michael kindly in front of others. But as soon as they were alone, her true nature revealed itself. She scolded him for every little mistake. "Michael, why can't you ever do anything right?" she would hiss. She made him do all the housework from dawn till dusk with no rest. The village people thought Auntie Araba was a saint for taking Michael in. They believed every word she said about him. "Michael is so lazy," she would tell them. "He never listens and always causes trouble." Michael's heart ached every time he heard these words. He wanted to scream the truth, but who would believe him? One evening, as Michael was scrubbing the floors, Auntie Araba stormed in. "Why is this house still dirty?" she shouted. Tears welled up in Michael's eyes. "I'm trying my best, Auntie," he whispered, but his words fell on deaf ears. She pushed him to the floor and walked away, leaving him to finish his work in silence. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Michael's spirit was breaking, but he held on to a glimmer of hope. He dreamed of a day when he could escape this torment and prove everyone wrong. One afternoon, while fetching water from the river, Michael overheard some villagers talking. "Poor Auntie Araba," one said. "She's doing her best with that troublesome boy." Michael clenched his fists, the words stinging like sharp needles. He wanted to run to them, to tell them how wrong they were, but fear held him back. Michael felt trapped in a nightmare he couldn't escape. He longed for someone to see the truth, to understand his pain. But every time he tried to speak up, Auntie Araba's lies had already poisoned their minds. Years passed, and Michael grew stronger, both in body and spirit. Though Auntie Araba's harsh treatment continued, he used his pain as fuel. He worked hard, dreaming of a better future. One day, a kind man named Mr. Johnson noticed Michael's struggle. "You're a hard worker, Michael," he said. "Why don't you come work with me? I can teach you a trade." Michael's heart leapt with hope. This was his chance to change his life. He started working with Mr. Johnson, who taught him everything about fixing machines. Michael poured all his energy into learning. He was determined to succeed. As Michael's skills grew, so did his reputation. People began to see him in a new light. He saved his earnings and opened his own small workshop. His business thrived, and soon he was known as one of the best in the village. Meanwhile, Auntie Araba's life began to crumble. Her friends started to see through her facade. They noticed how she treated Michael and began to distance themselves. She was no longer the respected woman she once was. Karma was finally catching up to her. One day, Auntie Araba came to Michael's workshop. She looked defeated, her once proud face now etched with worry. "Michael," she said, her voice trembling, "I've heard about your success. I want to apologize for how I treated you." Michael looked at her, feeling a mix of emotions. "Auntie Araba," he said, "it's too late for apologies. I've moved on. I hope you find a way to make amends." As she walked away, Michael felt a weight lift off his shoulders. He had finally confronted his past. His journey from a mistreated boy to a successful young man was complete. Michael's story became an inspiration to others, showing that even in the darkest times, one can rise above and find light. Through hard work, resilience, and a kind heart, Michael had transformed his life. He had proven that no matter how unfair life can be, with determination and hope, anything is possible.